Alright, let's see what my script says we're talking about today. A divine animal the local governments are trying to deconsecrate for agricultural protection, and one that I've eaten. Well, it's not my faith. Hello, and welcome to episode 100 of the Planet Zoo Experience. As you can tell, if you've seen my stuff before, this is definitely something different. Now, instead of just yapping off into a microphone trying to explain things to you, I am now going to stare you directly in the face and tell you some weird shit about animals that you either never heard of or thought were really cute and harmless. Never such case. But before I start to ramble a bit too much, let's get into the animal that we have for today, and that is the Nilgai, the largest antelope in all of Asia and the 5th largest in the world, and I'm sure by its roided out appearance, that's no surprise. Probably also wouldn't surprise you if I told you that males could max out at 635... How are you in my room? How are you... What? Oh. Well, that's horrifying. Anyway, males can max out at 635 pounds, and females tend to be a bit smaller, maxing out at only 470 pounds. Now, as I said, they are the largest in Asia, being found mostly in India, though can be found in the neighboring nations. But I would understand if you were surprised to hear that it's an antelope and not some kind of bull or ox or something else along those lines. And to be fair, if we just look at its scientific name of Bocephus tragocamelus, you'd find that apparently Mr. Peter Simon Pallas had no fucking idea what he was looking at either, because it literally translates to cow, deer, he, goat, camel. I guess he just thought it was fucking all of it. But, seeing how this poor Prussian had no idea what he was talking about, and, you know, Prussia being a nation most people have only heard of and have no idea what it is, that is a great, and by great I mean horrible, segue into the evolutionary history of long ago when it comes to the Nilgai. I'm keeping it in. I'm tired of restarting. Now, unfortunately, as with pretty much all antelope, we have fucking no idea where they came from. As an American, it's actually kind of hard to find information, because every time I look up antelope, you just get information about the pronghorn. But the best that we've got is the antelope came about roughly 3 million to 11,000 years ago. Like I said, we don't know shit. But what we do know is the tribe of Bocephini probably evolved roughly 19 million years ago. And if the numbers aren't making sense to you, I will refer you to 2 sentences ago. Now, for those of you who don't know what a tribe is in this context, it's an area that is in between family, or subfamily, and genus of an animal. It's not used often, but it's kind of an extra divider to figure out who's really related to who. And there's only 2 living relatives. One, our featured creature, the Nilgai, and the other is the 4-horned antelope. Now, look at these 2 pictures. I'm sure you have 1,001 jokes you can make about someone getting a little bit more than the other, and, you know, you can have your own. But for me, Mama Nature, that's just mean. However, while we know nothing about their evolutionary history, it is a pretty old creature in cultural history. Starting as far back as 1000 to 500 BC, the animal was referred in the Hindu hymn... God, I am so bad at Sanskrit languages. Atarya Brahmana. We're going with that. Specifically, it was stated to be a form taken by one of the Vedic deities, as well as during the Mughal Empire, one of the most influential empires in India's history. The Nilgai was in many, many different forms of painting and other cultural expressions, including the hilts of daggers used in the time. Now, when it comes to the modern culture of the animal, there's a bit of a divide. You see, in Hindu culture, the animal is actually right next to the cow in the level of holiness. Now, if there's anything us in the West know about Hinduism, it is that the cow is sacred. This has led to the animal being left alone, and especially not eaten in many circles. The name Nilgai actually even means blue cow. However, this is where that wild intro comes from. You see, the unmitigated growth of the herd populations of the Nilgai have led to many farmers having to set up different ways to deal with them, whether it be electric fences that will kill smaller animals if they end up hitting it, or somehow setting up different forms of protection for their farms. In 2016, the Uttar Pradesh allowed farmers firearm licenses to cull the herds. And of course, like with so many simple, easy, effective, and efficient ways of dealing with issues, a bunch of morons that claim to be social activists that know nothing about human-animal interaction had something to say about it. And here's a quote that I found. "We live in the 21st century, and culling is only the very last option we have." Shut the fuck up. Listen, I understand the divinity of it, and I can understand if that plays a part in it, but what does the 21st century have to do with this? I know they claim that we could just make shelters or some shit. The population's gonna grow, and they don't abide by rules. They're animals. They don't understand these sort of things, but I digress. Though I did see a video dating back to 2019 of allegedly someone burying a Nilgai alive with a bulldozer, which, if that's what you were complaining about, okay, yeah, that's fucked. That's, no, that's, holy shit, that's insanity. Though, there were other attempts to try to help with the culling of the herd, one of which was to rename the Nilgai to Rajad, which translates to forest antelope, sort of pushing it away from the cow divinity that it originally had, in an attempt to be like, no, this isn't a cow, it's not, the Brahma, we are allowed to kill this thing, and hopefully, this will culturally be accepted, because in the topic of hunting, they were introduced to Texas in an attempt to increase exotic hunting tourism, as with many animals. And I actually had the luxury of trying it recently as sort of it was a birthday gift for my father. It was surprisingly cheap, but, transporting that was kind of expensive. Nonetheless, it's delicious. Oh my god. It's got a very beefy flavor with a bit of gaminess. If you've had venison, it's kind of like beef with a little bit of that in it. And honestly, I see this renaming, rebranding, and the ability to hunt it as a phenomenal way to introduce the people of Bharat to the hamburger. But that's also the opinion of an ignorant foreigner. So, with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. And I do hope that this isn't too much of a disjointed mess, because I'm afraid to edit this. So, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. Please, some constructive criticism would be very much helpful, seeing how this is a very new thing I'm doing. I want to keep doing this, every week like normal. And until next time, go outside, touch grass, hug your loved ones, drink water, and bye-bye.